Hi friends, my name is Steph and today I've got a massive book unhaul and then a mini book haul after. I'm trying to get rid of more books than I'm buying so my number of books doesn't escalate. A couple of these are special editions. Most of these are books that I've had for a really long time and I just know I'm never going to get to. Some of them are because I've just decided that an author is an author by author and then never read their books. We'll discuss it as we go through and then we'll get into the books I have purchased recently. So special editions first. These are all from Beyond the Pages. It is an Australian based book box that I really liked for a while. I was so excited to find an Australian book box. But especially from the first boxes that I got, I'd never heard of the authors, never heard of the books, always had the intention of reading them, but like it's been a year and I haven't read these ones. So we'll go through them. First, I have got Walk of Shame, the complete series by Victoria Ashley, apart from the fact that I do not like naked men on my covers, just a personal choice. This is, I think, like 7 novellas in one bind up. Wait, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Each one follows a character that has like a trope, a archetype, I guess. This has a signed book plate attached, but like it is a thick beast. It's like 800 pages. Yeah, 770 pages, and I'm never gonna read it. Next we have Kiss the Girl by A.L. Jackson. I have no idea what this book is about. It is also has a book plate. I don't really like the cover. I don't like people on my covers either. I have a lot of preferences when it comes to books. So I'm not going to read that. Also have Strangers in My Bed by Jade West. I think this is physically signed. Again, never going to read it. And the last one is a hardcover. Wish Upon a Star by Jacinda Wilder. And this is also a book plate. The only thing, especially I'm finding with these 4 books, is that I've been trying to sell them on Facebook Marketplace and Depop for at least months now, and there are no takers. So I think these books are just going to have to get donated. So that's kind of sad because I'm sure someone out there would actually appreciate them if they found the posts that I was posting, but I digress. Next, we're going to move into the tall paperbacks. Try and organize these a little bit. So first we have It Sounded Better in My Head by Nina Kenwood. No idea what this is about. I probably bought it from a secondhand store and it looks kind of cute. Never read it. Then we have Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina. I've only read one book by Sherry Lapina, which was The Couple Next Door, and I wasn't a fan, so I don't know why I kept buying her books. Judging by the condition of this one, I bought it secondhand, so it was probably like $4. Next, Catch Us the Foxes by Nicola West. This one I bought recently for $3, but I have to be realistic about the books I'm buying and what I'm actually going to keep to read and what I bought just because I've got problems. Next, I have got Revenge by S.L. Lim. I have no idea what this book is about. This was one that my stepmom passed me and said, you need to read it. It's really good. But sorry, it's not going to happen. Then we have My Best Friend's Murder. This was also a thrift shop purchase. I think I was intrigued because, like, look how big the font is. Oh, maybe you can't really tell. The font in this book is huge, so I thought it would be like a quick thriller. But I just don't care anymore. Next, I have Lullaby by Chuck Palahniuk. I actually have read this book. I read this for Spooktober last year, and it might be my least favorite Chuck Palahniuk book to date. It had such an interesting concept about this nursery rhyme or this poem in a child's anthology, and it's a culling song. So it turns out that when you speak out the poem or you think about the poem, people in the general vicinity die, which sounds interesting. It just really wasn't. Next we have Merry Xmas by Courtney Walsh. Now, I am considering giving this to one of my friends to read and seeing if they had the same issues with it that I did. I read this last Christmas. Christmas just passed because I read... let me try and find the title. Oh, I don't have it on my shelf anymore. I must have put it somewhere else. Oh, there it is. Cross Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh. And I really, really liked that book. It was just a good Christmas romance. So I picked up this one by the same author, and I had the main character, the male main character in this gave me so much ick. It was just so irritating. So I might pass that one on to my friend later. This one, Take Me With You When You Go, is by David Levithan and Jennifer Niven. I've read both those authors before. I've always considered them auto-buy authors, but I haven't picked this one up since I purchased it, which is goodbye. Same with this one, Small Spaces by Sarah Epstein. This is a YA thriller that had some really good reviews, but I haven't even read the first page, and I've owned it since it came out. Then we have Kafka on the Shore by, I never say this name right, Murakami. And I'm sure this book is great, but it's just too long. And for a book I don't know anything about and have no interest in, I'm never going to get to it. And now we need to move the books. This is the face of someone who thought I'd hit record again, but hadn't hit record. I just finished the rest of the book haul and none of it was recording. Oh god, I have to go through this again. That's really sad. Let's get into it. It's so sad. I just unhauled like 20 books on camera, and I didn't record any of it because I looked at the time and I'm like, why isn't the timer ticking down? It's ticking now. That's helpful. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. That sucks. Okay, let's just so next we have 2 books from a series by Maggie Stiefvater, and I always told myself I'd never get rid of these books because they're just so beautiful. They are beautiful hardcover editions. We have got Linger and Forever from the Mercy Falls Wolves series. I am keeping Shiver because it is such a nostalgic book. I read it so many times when I was younger. I never got past the first book though. I think I might have just stopped caring at the end of the first book. But yes, I think these covers are beautiful, and I love that the font in this one is red to match the cover, and the font in this one is green. I don't know if you can tell, probably, to match the cover. Linger's text is obviously blue. They all match, which is why I didn't want to get rid of the series because they match perfectly. But if I haven't read these in the 13 years since they've been released, it's not going to happen. So they can go. Next, I've just spoken about all these books. We have Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. I just tried reading this book. I think I got up to about page 60 or 70 before I decided that it was a DNF that was getting unhauled. 1, because my brother saw me reading it and judged me. And 2, because while I agree with some of the things Florence talks about in this is basically a book about feminism. Yeah, modern feminism, being like a supporter of other women, loving yourself, all that sort of stuff. I agree with a lot of her points, but it was very preachy. Like, for someone who's saying don't judge other women, don't talk shit about other women, it was very much like, you're doing this wrong, it's okay, I can help you. So it wasn't a vibe. Not a vibe for me. Next I have Moxie. I bought this just obviously after the Netflix TV show was released, because again, girls fighting back against a sexist system at schools especially. I understand, but I just kind of don't want to read about it in my fiction. I don't want to read about like proper, serious, current real life problems. Like, I would hate to read a book right now about the world going into a lockdown, you know? Next we have Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde. I was so not invested in this book. I didn't even take off the price sticker. I got it for $2, probably from a Salvation Army. So yeah, no interest in it, obviously. Next I have Ghosts by Dolly Alderton. This book, it just seemed so highly praised and highly recommended, but from the first chapter that I read, it seemed like it was trying really hard to be Normal People by Sally Rooney without being good. So it's going. Next, I have a book from my I'm going to try to read serious fiction era, which never took off, and It Is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good without it. I don't need it, and I don't plan on reading it. Then we have got The Girls I've Been by Tess Sharp. This book actually sounds really interesting. It's about a girl, her ex-boyfriend, her current girlfriend, all being stuck in a bank during a heist. But our main character is actually a con artist, and I'm sure that the person organizing the bank heist, like, I'm sure there's some sort of connection between them, because the back of the book makes it sound like the gunmen have no idea who I really am. So, alright. Next I'm getting rid of a couple of books that I bought that was solely like auto buys, like, oh, I've read one book from this author that I enjoyed, I have to buy all of their new releases. So the first two are from Emery Lord. I've got Open Road Summer and The Map from Here to There. I've read 2 books by Emery Lord, sorry, The Names They Gave Us and When We Collided. Really enjoyed them both. So I'm keeping those 2, but these ones I'm never going to get to, and I'm kind of, which you'll probably see in the next few books, I'm sort of gently backing away from YA books. I didn't think it would happen to me. I really thought I was going to read YA books until I was 70, but I'm kind of not really vibing with them lately. I'm just not in the mood to read them. So similar with the next 2 books. I've got Second Chance Summer and Save the Date by Morgan Matson. So one of her older books, one of her newer books. And I don't know, not really keen to read them, to be honest. I kept one book from Morgan Matson, which was Since You've Been Gone, but even that one I could probably stand to unhaul because it's been a while since I've read it. I don't think it was a favorite. I think it was just a nice way to pass the time. Then I've got 2 books from Becky Abatelli. I've got Leah on the Offbeat, which I don't think had a great reception when it came out because our main character seems to be very annoying, and Kate in Waiting. I have not heard anything about this. I bought it because it was Becky Abatelli, and I haven't read it, and I think it came out at least 2 years ago, maybe 3. Oh yeah, 2021, at least 2 years ago. Like, I still have the receipt inside the cover, so I'm keeping Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda and The Upside of Unrequited, but these 2, again, not much interest in them, and if I haven't gotten to The Upside of Unrequited, which is the book I was most excited for, then why would I reach for those 2? Next, I've got 2 books by A.S. King. I have got Still Life with Tornado and Everybody Sees the Ants. I've heard that A.S. King's writing is obviously strange and weird. What's the word everyone uses? I can't remember. I've heard that if you're going to read A.S. King books, you should start with his earlier stuff that wasn't as weird and like build your way up to his newer releases. Her newer releases, their newer releases, I'm not sure. But I don't think it's going to work for me because I have no interest in these 2, but I'm still kind of interested in Dig and Switch. So those 2 can stay on my shelves for now. These 2 have to go. Then I've got The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. This is a murder mystery, like a YA murder mystery that is supposed to be very like heavily influenced by Agatha Christie. And I only bought it because I really enjoyed the one other book I've read by Kathleen Glasgow. But I'm thinking this is going to be a very different vibe anyway. The book I read and enjoyed by Kathleen Glasgow was like a hard-hitting contemporary, as were the 2 books she released after that. But this just, it's not a vibe right now. Yes. Next I have 3 books. It is a trilogy or a series. It's by Ashley Poston. I've got Gigarella, Bookish and the Beast, and The Princess and the Fangirl. These 3 books all center around conventions, fan bases, meeting the actor from your favorite TV show, and that have really appealed to a teenage Steph, especially because they're fairy tale retellings or inspired by fairy tales. But I've got adult romances that have very similar themes, so if I'm going to read a book about conventions and romances, it's going to be an adult book, not a YA book. Okay, second to last. I'm saving the last book for last because I need a little rant about it, but second to last is Never Let Go by Lauren Bill. This is meant to be a dark romance about a girl named Mackenzie who gets kidnapped by Benjamin and his partner in crime. And it's one of those romances where it's like, well, he is violent with her and abuses her, but only because his partner in crime tells him he has to be. But like, it's not really, because we get chapters from Benjamin's point of view, and he's clearly very comfortable with his nature to rape people. It's fine if he does that, because that's what his instincts tell him to do. And he doesn't love Mackenzie. He never falls in love with Mackenzie because he's not capable of love. He's too dark and tortured to fall in love. Like, there's dark romances. I've read dark romances. I would compare, like, Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman as a dark romance. I don't know what this is, but it was just not good. Last but not least, I was in the middle of ranting about this book when I noticed that I wasn't recording before, so I'm a little bit traumatized, but we'll get through it together. The last book is a book by an author that I have read from before and didn't enjoy. I then purchased another series by them. Never even started that series, sold that series. At some point amongst all of that, I bought this book and I was kind of excited for it. And then I watched, I think it was a TikTok about like someone's least favorite books of the year. Now, I didn't realize that they would be explaining why these books were their least favorites of the year. But they definitely spoiled this book for me, so I have no reason to read it now. I'm not one of those people that can hear a spoiler and then still enjoy whatever it is. I just have... It also was ridiculous. I don't think I would have enjoyed it anyway. But let's discuss. The book is All These Bodies by Kendall Blake. I read the Anna Dressed in Blood duology and didn't like them. I never ended up picking up the 3 Dark Crown series. Like, I owned them, but I didn't read them. This book is a murder mystery about 16 bodies and the one... Let's read the back of the book together. A gruesome killer, 16 bodies, completely drained of blood. One impossible explanation. The only suspect in the bloodless murders, 15-year-old Marie Catherine Hale, who was found at the scene of the crime covered in blood, but she refuses to confess to anyone, except aspiring journalist Michael Jensen, the sheriff's son. Marie's time is running out, but she chose Michael for a reason, and his search for answers is her last chance to finally tell her story. A story that will call into question everything he knows. So, if you don't want spoilers for this book, spoilers I know and hate even though I haven't read it yet, that's why I'm looking at the timer. Skip to the next 30 seconds. Like I said, this book follows a murder mystery about bodies that end up completely drained of blood. You want to know the impossible explanation? It's that the murderer is a vampire. That is the most obvious answer. Like, the killer is a vampire. Well, that makes sense because the bodies are completely drained of blood. Why didn't you try to do literally anything other than that as an explanation for these crimes? So stupid. So, unhauling this one. Like I said, I think I would have been pissed off if I'd read the entire book and got to that conclusion. So that can go, and I'm kind of glad it's gone. Get that negative energy out of my life. Now I'm going to pause again so I can put these books not on my bed. Hopefully I remember to press record when I come back. We are recording. Sick. Okay, recent book purchases. Significantly less than the books I'm unhauling, which is always a plus. First, I got my copy of the March Fabled Co. book of the month, The Night the Night book. What are the two books called? They got the Twilight and the Night, I guess. It was, spoilers, Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller. I already own this book in the standard paperback. Oh, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. Look at the sprayed edges. And look at the end pages. I haven't read it yet. I own the entire series, but I haven't read any of them yet. But I'm very excited to have this. It's very beautiful. And in case you didn't know, Fabled Co is an Australian monthly book box subscription. Well, it's not a book box, you just get the book. And they also come out with special editions that come out with editions that aren't part of the monthly subscriptions. But that was the March book for the Fabled Nights subscription. I don't get the Twilight one because I think it's all paranormal and I'm cool. Next I've got Addicted for Now by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the third book in the Addicted series. There's so many books in this series. Yes, so I own Addicted to You, Ricochet, Addicted for Now, Kiss the Sky, Hot House Flower, Fuel the Fire, Long Way Down, Some Kind of Perfect. So I think I'm missing 2 books from the 2 5-book series that combined to make one 10-book series. And I only bought it yesterday, so you'd think I'd know the price. $12 at Big W. I also picked up Promises We Meant to Keep by Monica Murphy. I already own, man, she's written a lot of books. I own Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did and A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, and this is the latest release in the Lancaster Prep series. So I picked up this one. Again, it was also $12. And I'm pretty sure the rest are, oh no, these 2 were pre-orders. I ordered them last year and they finally came through together. I've got the newest Abby Jimenez release, which is yours truly. I've loved every book by hers. I own and have read all of her previous releases. So The Friend Zone, Life's Too Short, Part of This World, and the Happy Ever After playlist. I've read all 4 of them. I've loved them all. So I have very high hopes for this book. Just zip, 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 zip. She starts hating this new guy at her work. She's a doctor. And then finds out that he's actually kind of funny, and they start to exchange notes and like each other. And then she finds out that this new man, doctor in her life, would turn out to be the perfect kidney donor for her brother. So drama. I'm so excited. Oh, there's I don't like trigger warnings for the most part because they always spoil the book for me. So I just flipped and saw I'm just not going to read them, but I'm very excited. And I found, and I think this one I pre-ordered and received this. I might be more excited for this one. It's What the Hex by Jessica Clare. I read the first book in this series, which was Go Hex Yourself, last year during Spooktober, and I loved it. It was about this human girl who responds to a job ad advertised in a newspaper for, it's something magic related, like an assistant to magic or something. And she's a nerd, so she thinks that she's going for a job interview to work for Magic the Gathering, the card game. And then she gets there and she's at the house of a witch, like a real life witch. And this witch is like completely oblivious to the fact that this poor human girl doesn't know what's going on. And then the witch's grandson and the human, it's a vibe. It was so funny. It was so enjoyable. So I've got the sequel, and this one follows Penny, who befriends our main character from the first book, and Willem, which is the best friend of the grandson from the first book. And it's just so cute. Look, she's got a kitty cat. It's so cute. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I loved the first book. So I pre-ordered those ones from Booktopia, and I think the next 4 books are all from Amazon. So I'm gonna get so judged for this. I'm just gonna, the next book is Morning Glory Milking Farm. I'm not saying anything more about it on this channel where people I know might watch it. If you know, you know. If you don't, that's cool. But I got that from Amazon. I also picked up Strum Your Heart Out by Crystal Caswell, which is I think the second book in like a companion series where each book follows a different couple. I only bought this, never heard of it before. I bought this because it was $4 on Amazon in the Amazon returns section. Because there was some sort of damage to it. Like there's a little bit of forgets you heart. Oh my god. I don't know how to make my camera. Can you see these like little like black bits around there? Like that just looks like miscolored glue. But it was $4 because someone received this and returned it. But yeah, like I said, it was $4, so I decided to pick it up. It's, I think each book follows a member of a band, and this is about Kara. Her best friend is the rock star guitarist Drew. She gets kicked out of her apartment. He says, "Move in with me." And tension. Love tension. Next, I've got the newest release from Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Baroka. This actually is kind of damaged. Like, I would return this to Amazon if I could be bothered. But yeah, it's like the follow-up to their last book, which was, what was the last book called? The Roughest Draft. This is Do I Know You, which is about a marriage in trouble. And then the last book I have is the newest release by Lynn Painter, which is The Love Wager. In case you couldn't tell from the unhaul, if I read one book by an author and I enjoy it, I buy all the books by that author. And sometimes it works out well for me, like Abby Jimenez or Ruby Dixon, Coho. Sometimes it works out. Other times we get the issues of, say, Ashley Poston's Geekerella or Becky Abatelli's Everything. So I really hope that I enjoy the rest of Lynn Painter's books because I've bought them. I bought them all. I'm currently reading The Demon's Bargain by Katie Roberts. I'm enjoying it. It's the fourth book in the Deal with a Demon series. It is also the shortest one so far, but I'm still enjoying it. So we'll see how we go. Because of that unhaul, well, I don't remember which books I've taken off of my my library app, like my personal library. Like I've scanned all my books into the system, and half of those books I unhauled, I've taken off my library, but the other half I didn't take off my library, and I didn't take photos of those books before I filmed the unhaul. So now they're all mixed together. So I'm going to spend some time making sure those are all off, and then a little bit more time making sure all of these new ones are in, and then I'm going to go to bed because it's like, what time is it? Oh, fuck off. Oh, it's only 2. I thought it was 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I'm gonna get some stuff organized. Oh, and because of that massive unhaul, I've got some room on my shelves to play with. That might be a tomorrow problem, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, bye.